Welcome to another episode of One on One with Mitch Lafon. I am your host, Mitch Lafon. Brought to you, of course, this week by Heavy Montreal, taking place August 7th, 8th, and 9th at Parc Jean Drapeau in beautiful downtown Montreal. Head over to heavymontreal.com for all your ticketing needs and other information. But I will tell you that Slipknot, Faith No More, Korn, Lamb of God, Iggy Pop, Lita Ford, Warren, Dokken, and many, many more will be playing the festival this year. And head over to the One on One Facebook page for your chance to win one of two pairs of tickets that we have to give away to the festival. Now, this week on the show, we've got Stephen Pearcy, the voice of Ratt. It is not Ratt music unless Stephen is singing. And to talk to me about all of this, or to join me in this conversation, is Bill Leverty of FireHouse. Good day, Bill.
Hey, Mitch. Good talking to you. You sound great today.
Sound much better. I think I've broken out of the cycle of flu cold, flu cold, flu cold. You know, but yeah.
And now you sound like $1,000,000, man.
Yep, we're getting there, slowly but surely. So, Ratt, big band from the '80s. Had a chance to play with them, tour with them. Do you know the guys?
Yes, I know them all. They're all great guys. We did a lot of shows with them. And the first show we ever did with them was in Dallas, and they just treated us really well. As an opening band, we sometimes can get the shaft from the headliner, and they just took real good care of us, gave us plenty of sound, plenty of lights, and plenty of cool vibes. So it was great. And then we did a show with them at some festival up in the maybe North Dakota, and Warren didn't have his guitar tech, so he said, "Hey, Bill, I don't have a guitar tech. Will you tech for me for my set?" And I said, "I would love to." So he told me what I needed to do, and at the end of the gig, he said, "Man, all my guitars were in the best tuning that I've ever had. You did such a great job. Is there anything I can do, to repay you?" And I said, "Well, I'd really like a guitar lesson." He said, "Oh, no problem. Next time we do a gig, we'll do it." And so I hit him up that next time we did a gig, and I said, "I really want that guitar lesson. Is it still good?" He said, "Absolutely." So he had me in his hotel room, and we had our guitars, and I really wanted to see how he approached the solo for their song "You're in Love," which I thought his solo was really cool. And
great song too.
And opened up a great song, and it really opened up my mind to an approach of how to play that style, which he's got a style really, really unique and all his own. And so I actually modified my solo to Overnight Sensation after he showed me how he did You're in Love. And now I can hit the notes in Overnight Sensation maybe 5 times out of 10 instead of 1 time out of 10. Usually when I did Overnight Sensation, I'd miss about 30 of the notes. But he helped me a lot. So I owe quite a bit to Warren.
Bit of an unsung guitar hero, right? When you sit down and you list the top 10 guitar gods or guitar heroes, you hear Randy Rhoads, and some people throw in Jimmy Page and Ace Frehley, but Warren's name doesn't come up a lot, and it probably should.
Well, it's on my website under my biggest influences. He was great, and he and Robin and Stephen, their Bobby, Juan, their songwriting was magic, and I think their latest record that they put out was a great album. So
Infestation.
I think that there's a great band, great songs, which is you can't really have one without the other, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately, the band is no more. Stephen has moved on. He's doing his solo thing, and his new album is called Smash, which it should be out very soon. But he's also doing something very interesting. He's putting together 20 songs, releasing them every couple of weeks via iTunes and other download places. And then at the end of the year, when all 20 are out, he will think of putting it on a physical CD. Is that sort of you sort of doing the same thing, right? You've put out the new song Strong, and you've put out other songs recently. Is that sort of the new way to go?
Well, that's my new way to go. I have anxiety issues, and I just can't hang on to a song for 3 months, waiting for me to finish an album. Once it's done, I just can't wait to put it out there and let people hear it. So it's kind of helped me out, And then the true fan will will buy the song and download it, and then they'll wait for you to put out the CD. And then what I try to do is sign the CD for them if they get it from my website, and that way, it's my way of kind of thanking them for sticking with me and supporting the music so well.
Yeah, so let's why don't we sit back and listen to Steven talk about the new album the Smash, the new singles, the upcoming tour, the upcoming knee surgery, and many other things. Here is Steven Pearcy. We are speaking with Steven Pearcy. Good day, Steven. How are you?
I'm fine, brother Mitch. How are you?
Good. Always a pleasure to talk with you. We've been doing these interviews for the better part of 20 years, I guess, right? We've been doing this kind of stuff. Long time.
Yeah, long time, man.
Yeah, long time. So I guess we'll just get everybody caught up on what you're doing. You've got some touring going on this summer, new music coming out. Let's start there. Album is called Smash. Now, people can't buy the album just yet. You're doing something interesting. You're putting out singles on iTunes and Amazon and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Explain
Yes.
that to me.
Well, what I'm doing is releasing a single every 3 weeks, a month, to where every song has the attention of you're writing your first single, and to where every song has the same attention. To where back in the day you wouldn't do that. You would just go into the studio and you would give them your best songs, and you think those songs are going to be the best. Well, there's always better songs. So I've decided, well, I'm going to change my format, and I have so many songs written over the last couple of years for Smash, starting when it was called Sucker Punch.
Mm-hmm.
And we just decided just to reevaluate everything and started a whole new process to where every song is a single, and that's how we're approaching it, and it's working out very well. And then we got I got Bo Hill back into the mix, and he mixed the first single, and he has the second one ready to go, and he'll get the third one. And so I'm kind of releasing version 1, version 2. But it's coming around, and we're very happy with what's going down. And we're on the road so much, now. So we have to really evaluate how we're releasing these songs and when we can record. So, but it's coming along fine.
Yeah, and you mentioned Bo Hill. Let me stop you there and let's talk about that. Bo Hill, obviously responsible for a lot of the Ratt sound, a lot of the great hits. What is it about Bo that he just understands how to get the best out of your voice?
Well, when we first met up back in the day, before we got signed, or as we were getting signed, we gave him a few songs, and Doug Morris, president of Atlantic Records in '84, said, "Here, Bo, I got this band. If you want to check them out, you can produce them." Well, we gave Bo 3-4 songs, and he heard the song Round and Round and said, "What is that?" And we just said, "Well, it's just another song we have." And he says, "No, that's the song." And ever since then, we started our process, and we grew up together, him as a producer, Ratt as a band, and the writers, Robin, Warren, myself, and Juan, and we just had this connection with his production. But I personally have always kept in touch and always remembered how he recorded my voice and how we went through the process. He had great ideas with some lyric stuff and melodies, but I would sit and write lyrics for days and rewrite everything. As I went into the studio the next day, I would scratch everything. But Bo really has, we have a connection to how we sounded, and it hasn't changed even when I give him my solo stuff. So it's a great relation in music.
It really is. Now, of course, you mentioned Round and Round, which easily is one of the top 10 songs to come out of the 1980s. I mean, just easily recognizable at, in stadiums, in arenas, wherever you go, that song. Uh, you could go out this summer and tour and do just a greatest hits set. What makes you write new music? I mean, you don't have to. There's no need to. What motivates you?
Well, it's like when I do these other projects, and when I pulled out of Ratt in '91,
Hmm.
I was bored. I needed other things to do, and I've done stuff with Al Petrelli, industrial with Vertex, arcade with Fred Coury, Vicious Delight with Mike Duda and some other people, and
Hmm.
Tony Marcus and Gil, and it's just I have to be excited about what I do. Otherwise, I can't be real about what I'm doing out there. I can sing Rat music, what I've done for years, and I have to actually. But what I like most of all is I have other songs that turn me on that you might be excited about. It's building a catalog.
It really is, and it's exciting. So now these songs are coming out, like you said, one every 3 weeks. At some point, does it become physical product? Can somebody plunk down $20 and get a CD at some point?
I think towards the end of the year you'll have my physical graffiti. You know,
Right.
um, until then you can. We just released Recipe for Disaster under Top Fuel Records iTunes, and I just want every song to have the same attention. So,
Right.
you know, whether it takes 3 weeks, 4 weeks per single, it has to do with our time off also. And my recording band is my touring band, which is Greg D'Angelo on drums, White Lion, Eric Fanartino's my right hand man, co-writer, uh, Chris Hager, Matt Thorne, who used to be an early, Mickey Ratt and early versions of Ratt. So we have a great rapport from going years back. So we decided we're just going to record every chance we can get. Like next week, we go back in the studio and record finish the fourth single, But it's a good process, because when you come off the road, we're way hyped up, we're ready to go. So we go into the studio and it works, it clicks, And then again, I rewrite everything the minute I get in there. What I think I have going isn't really what works 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Now, uh, Rad came back with Infestation on Roadrunner Records a few years ago now. There was one
2 years
more,
ago.
yeah, a few years. There was another album on that contract. Will there be another Rat album, or are you just completely done?
It's a little too late for that.
Okay.
I doubt. Time has passed. Warren and I were actually working on music, and there is a song that we actually recorded. And if it sees a light of day, I would be very proud of it, and he would too. We finished it, and it's done, recorded. And if that's it, that's it. But I don't see any future uh, in Rat and moving on.
Right.
There's too much unresolved stuff, and it's okay. There's other things going on, and there's no need for that.
Right.
I'm happy with the legacy. Um, we're all doing different things. Matter of fact, Juan Crucier, the original bass player of Rat, him and I will be actually doing a project later in the year after I'm done touring.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Now, will he join you on your tour at any point, even if it's one show or two shows, or not at all?
Well, he's done that. He's come out and jammed with me many times, but I think we're going to do a whole another project.
Okay.
It won't interfere with my solo stuff and my band. But we will be working on something real soon.
Oh, that's great to hear. Because Juan had been out a Rat for so many years, and then he came back for the reunion or the final hurrah, and he just brings something. He's a good writer, and he's entertaining to watch on stage. Let me ask you
Oh,
some.
Juan's great. He's great. And, the thing is, is, when he came back, he found out exactly what I was going through with, our band. And it was very disturbing and unfortunate, but, you turn the page and you move on. Juan and I are very much alike in the fact that, when enough is enough, it's enough. You move on and you do what makes you feel good and turns you on. You don't have to go back and rely on what we've did or what we've done. People, if they want to hear Ratt music, well, you can pick up a record and hear the carbon copy. If you want to go out and hear us play and be different every night, then you come out and see us.
Yeah. Now you mentioned "Enough Is Enough." Now that is a track on your Dancing Undercover album, which honestly, for me, I love that album. I know it got a lot of flack back in the day. Reviewers weren't as excited as Invasion of Your Privacy and Out of the Cellar and blah blah blah. But I love that album. Can you give me just a little something about making that? I mean, I love Slip of the Lip, Body Talk. What else is on that? Take a Chance, Dance. Can you give me a little bit of what was
Sure.
going on back? Because I truly love that album. I just love it.
Well, I don't even know what album you're talking about. All I know is, we were very fortunate enough to have multi-platinum records every year and
Right.
play arena tours for years. And, time passes. And here we are, we're back into the mix and we're playing with Aerosmith, Van Halen, and we're doing these great things. And somehow a wrench gets thrown into the mix. As far as the songs, we have plenty of great songs, B-sides, C-sides, whatever you want to call them. But, I love all these songs, Robin was also a big part of our writing and our direction. And a lot of people, I don't know if they know this, but Robin Crosby was a very, very big part of our direction and keeping this band, we called Ratt together, after success, before. And so all these songs have their own different meaning, so there it is, I mean, here we are 30 years plus later. Like, I'll say it again, I'm happy with the legacy, and that's how and why I can move on and do what I do.
Yeah, really. Do you have a favorite Ratt album? I mean,
The
which
EP
one?
for sure.
The EP?
The EP for sure.
Okay. So
Because the EP was a record that, granted, they were old Mickey Ratt songs, except for Tough, which Robin and I wrote. It was the first thing you introduced the public to. I mean, we were opening up for ZZ Top and doing these amazing shows. We were playing with Motley back in the day, and it was so cool. It was so new. So the EP is very important, and it hasn't been released in years, and hopefully we'll get there to do it. But as far as that, I mean, Out of the Cellar, you work your whole lives, bands to get their first record out.
Right.
And after that, when you sell 4 or 5 million records on your first record, well, it's hard to beat, But we did very well, and we owe nobody anything, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I love a lot of our songs. I love Drive Me Crazy. There's so many good songs that we have. So it's way cool, man.
No, there's a ton of good songs. Now, before you mentioned in the 90s you had done work with Arcade. Now that Ratt is completely and over and done with, would you call up Fred Curry and bring back Arcade either for an album or a few shows or one of those cruises, rock cruises? Any Arcade?
I don't know if I want to go on a boat to do that, but Freddie and I have always remained close, and we have talked about it, and it's not out of the question, except this record I'm doing now, Smash, is such a project. Like I said, it's like my physical graffiti, and except it's new music, and I just want to see this project through. I know for a fact that Juan and I are going to be out there doing something,
Right.
After I finish the tour, and, I have other things to deal with, like getting a new knee and stuff. And so I can only go, there's only so much time, but,
Right.
we have time. We have time. It's going to be cool. People will love it. I mean, Juan's a great writer, singer, and he's been backing me up for years and years, so it's way cool, man. We're way excited.
And quickly back to the new album. You mentioned to me before that it's going to be about 20 songs that you're going to compile. Is there any
Yep.
direction at all? Are you doing more of an arcade sound, more of a Ratt sound, more of an Aerosmith sound, or it's just whatever strikes you at the moment? I mean, what can fans expect? Are Ratt fans going to be happy with these songs?
What's interesting is anything I do is going to be associated with Ratt, which is fine because I wrote or co-wrote all of these songs.
Well, also your voice. I mean, there's a few bands where if you replace the lead singer, you can go on and who cares, but you can't replace Vince Neil and Motley. You can't replace you in Ratt because it won't sound like Ratt anymore. Your voice is very, very, very distinctive. I mean, it is the Ratt sound, right? Or in fact, it is the Ratt sound.
Yeah, it's a compliment, and I've never claimed to be some operatic bite a towel warm up guy. I'm old school. Robert Plant, Alice Cooper, Blue Oyster Cult, Van Halen. Every night should sound different. Every night should sound different.
Absolutely.
So I'm from that school of singing, and it's a compliment, but anything I do is going to be associated with Ratt, and that's cool because I created that beast, and it's okay. But these songs that I'm doing, they will cover so many angles. I mean, we have songs that are, people won't get it until they hear it. Keyboards, Pink Floyd, Zeppelin, Sabbath, Priest. I mean, you're going to hear everything because those are the influences. But we're writing such great music, and we have so many great songs. Eric and I and Chris have been writing so much for the years, and we just decided, look, we're going to make the ultimate record here. And no matter how long it takes, every song is going to be a single.
Yep.
And that's our direction.
That's a great direction. Now, I know the tour is going to do a lot of American dates. Any chance of getting to Canada or Europe or Australia or even Japan? Or are you just going to sort of stay local?
No, we're actually working on some, we have a couple, we just added a couple shows in Mexico. We're trying to get to Canada, and working on other places. Like I said, I have to get some attention on my physical, my knee, and I'm going to have to stop for a few months to do it. But we plan on just taking it easy, I mean, we're ping-ponging around, but we're doing some great shows. We're very happy about it. And as long as we can just get out there and have a good time, it just tunes us up for the studio. And that's all we care about. As long as we pull off the road and, do 3 or 4 shows, 5 shows a month and get right back in the studio, do another song, we'll be okay. And keep that live effect going.
Yeah.
And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So,
and we'll just end with this because we actually didn't mention the health earlier in the interview. I know your knee has been banged up, and I know you've done some shows with a brace. You've got surgery coming up, but the question is basically, are you okay? I mean, is it, it's not life and death, I would imagine. It's a knee, so, but it must be miserable.
No, what's going on is I was told, the last couple shows I have done, I've literally have dropped, physically because of my knee. I mean, your kneecap is not your knee. So I lost the kneecap. So my knee has taken a big brunt. Besides, I'm the evil Knievel of rock and roll. So, they just told me when I went to the hospital a week ago, they said you need a new knee. So I'm like, okay, well, I've got like 25 shows. How are we going to work this out? So what I'm going to do is they gave me a Robo Ratt brace, and I'll be wearing that, and hopefully things will be copacetic, and I'll get out there and take care of business. I won't be jumping around like a freak. So you probably get a little better voice,
right?
But that's it. I have to wait. It's a 2-month recuperation period, and I'm going to time it just right to where when we get off the road, things will be good, and then we'll get the knee fixed, repaired, and
get right back
get ready
out there
for the next chapter.
Yeah, well, because what a horrible time of the year to have that, because it's summertime. It's rock and roll time. We need those live shows, but I understand that sitting in pain until Christmas is not exactly an option either. So I certainly wish you the best with that.
Yeah, that won't happen. I'll take care of it months before that. But I'm actually canceling. Not canceling. I'm actually
rearranging,
not taking on some other shows. I'm staying at the 25, whatever we got, 25, 30, and it's an extensive tour, and we're happy about it, and they're great shows. And then I'll take care of my, personal knee business, and just make sure we get back in the studio any chance we can get.
Yeah, and of course you've got Smash coming out by the end of the year. Recipe for Disaster is on iTunes now. I Can't Take It, and Just One More Time. By the way, I've heard all 3 songs, and I love Just One More Time. That is a classic song, right from the get-go. It could fit right into the Ratt catalog, or maybe even the Aerosmith 1970s catalog. I love it. It's a great song. Great song.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. All we're doing is doing the best we can with every song, and like I said, when you give every song the attention, it's like Infestation.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody could ever get Warren to do an interview, he would tell you first and foremost that Infestation could have been a better record. And there are reasons why it didn't happen.
But it was good. It was a great record. It was a great comeback record, I gotta say. It was no slouch.
Yeah, we had better songs, though. We had better songs. And this is where, who knows what's going to go down. But right now, this is reality. And, I'm, like I said, 30 plus years, I'm very content. And, now it's time to get back into, Top Fuel Records and what I do. And we get a lot of great music, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, definitely going to have to work on my end to get you some shows in Canada so I can come and see you. Right, that's always important. Stephen, always a pleasure.
Thank you, brother.
And of course, Stephen-Pearcy.com is where you get all the latest news, and recommend folks check that out. But there you go. Thank you, Stephen.
I appreciate it, brother Mitch.
Anytime.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers. There you have it, folks. My interview with Stephen Pearcy, formerly of Ratt. New album coming out at the end of the year is called Smash. The songs are on iTunes and other digital outlets right now. Bill, you gotta love Stephen. He really is the voice of that band. It is not Ratt if Stephen is not singing.
Well, I always liked Stephen ever since I met him. I'm sorry for the fans that Ratt is going to be evolving into something different, but I wish the band members, the best, and I wish Stephen the best. And and I'm excited to hear what comes out of this, because he's a really talented guy, and they are really talented guys.
Yep.
So I don't know what happened, but I wish all the good vibes in the universe come upon all of those people that I just mentioned, and we can hear some good music and have some good shows in the future.
Yeah, and speaking of good music, we spoke to Stephen about the song Round and Round being one of the top 10 of the 80s. Would you share that description of it? I mean, it really is one of the most important songs that came out of the 80s, right?
Oh, without a doubt. And Michael Foster and I were in a band called White Heat back in 1980. Gosh, I guess he and I started playing together in 84, and that was on our set list, and it got one of the best reactions from the audience every time we played that song in our cover band. And it was just really an exciting song, and when it came out in the video and everything, it was just remarkable.
Oh, yeah. And of course, Shake and Tumble from FireHouse is one of the most important songs that came out of the 90s, right?
Well, thank you. It certainly was for us. That was kind of our first single without being a single. The record company just put out the song to see if anybody would like it, and Z-Rock picked it up in Dallas and syndicated it to 50 of their stations, and we had 50 gigs all of a sudden. So it kind of helped us sell a couple 100,000 records before the record company even put out a single, and they said, "Well, let's get behind this band." So
I love that.
That was
song.
Definitely a lucky one. Oh, thanks, man.
I think
that was a lucky one for us.
Oh, great song. And of course, you've got a new great song called Strong that folks can go check out at Leverty.com. And while they're checking out stuff online, don't forget to go over to HeavyMontreal.com to find out about the Heavy Montreal Festival taking place August 7th, 8th, and 9th in downtown Montreal. With who else is on there? We have Billy Talent, Mastodon, Bullet for My Valentine, Arch Enemy, Testament, and of course headlining Slipknot, Faith No More, Korn. I cannot fail to mention Lita Ford, Warrant, and Dokken. I love those three bands, by the way, Lita Ford, Warrant, and Dokken. Fun times in the 80s. You've toured with all of them, I would imagine.
I have, and I love doing gigs with every one of them. And all of them are at the top of their game. And they bring a great show every night with great songs, and it brings back the memories of what you were doing back at the time when all MTV and all that was going on. And you get to hear some of their new stuff. I mean, Warrant's playing new music that's just awesome.
Yeah,
so
their last album was great.
And Lita sounds great live. Dokken sounds great live. I mean, John Levin's just a phenomenal guitar player. Yep. So, yeah, it's all good, man. I'm thinking Heavy Montreal is a place to go.
Oh, it really is. And we definitely have to do something about FireHouse playing it in 2016. Mostly because I want access to catering and I could sort of tag along with you guys.
I bet that's some good food up there.
Well, actually, I have been to the catering at Heavy Montreal. And what's interesting about it is that it's not pizza and beer. They actually have chefs that they've hired, and you can get all kinds of roast beef and pastas and lamb, and it's just a very, very different experience. I've been to a bunch of festivals, and they sort of throw some food in a trough and they say, "Go FireHouse guys, go stick your face in the trough and eat." And that is not the Heavy Montreal experience at all. It really is a high class event.
With that great lineup that they have, it's obvious to me, just from an outside perspective, that they're doing it right. Mm-hmm. So I would say that it's not only doing it right for the fans, but for the artists as well. And then when you take care of the artist is going to put on the best show, so the fans are going to walk away going, "Wow, I had a great experience." So it's kind of a cool circle of good vibe.
It really is. And even for the media, I've been to, again, like I said, a bunch of festivals, and you go, "Oh, I'm media," and they go, "Great, go stand over there," and you're sort of left to wander all day in the field, going, "Okay, well, where do I go?" And at Heavy Montreal, they've got a media tent in the back. They've got air-conditioned bathrooms. They've got water free all day. You can just go grab couches. They've got areas where you can sit down with an artist and interview them in quiet. They've thought of every detail, from the fans to the artists to the media to suppliers. They've really just done a great thing. So there you go. Remember HeavyMontreal.com for Bill's new song Strong. It's Leverty.com, and of course Stephen-Pearcy.com for the latest Stephen Pearcy news, and of course find out about his new album Smash and all that wonderful stuff. There you have it. Another episode done. Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Mitch.